So hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and so good to be back in a Tigo 8 Pro. Now, why am I reviewing a Tigo 8 Pro again? Well, because there's a test drive event here now in Chery Pasig for free Starbucks. I want my Starbucks. And number two, I just wanted more seat time with this Tigo 8 Pro again because of this. Oh man, I miss this performance of this Tigo 8 Pro, and being the dual clutch transmission again, it's not that jerky, surprisingly. I mean, you have to get used to it. I mean, I drive it like a manual car, so you won't feel the jerkiness of the DCT. So I have a full review of this. I reviewed this last, when was it? I forgot, earlier this year around June. Link of that will be in the description down below. So this is like a update part 2 review of this Tigo 8 Pro, exactly the same car. So put it back in normal mode before I go cuckoo again with the performance. Now let's put it back to eco. Number 2 reason why I wanted to review this again is because actually something happened to this Tigo 8 Pro, this specific one. If you notice, when I was flying in my first review, it's not actually noticeable, but in my experience, there was a check engine light with this thing before it even hit 1,000 kilometers. That's why I wasn't able to floor it properly around here in C5, since it's a little bit empty now, since it's almost end of the year. That's what I wanted to talk about with this Tigo 8 Pro and the service of not just Chery Pasig, but in every Chery dealership as a whole. When this check engine light came up, so I thought it was just down to this car, but no, it's actually a lot with Tigo 8 Pro owners. For some reason, not the PHEV, that they had check engine lights with this. I knew immediately it was a faulty sensor, but for some reason, yet again, it only came with the 1.6 models. But that's what I wanted to talk about again with Chery as a whole. Since this specific Tigo 8 Pro has 7 years general warranty and an engine warranty, but you still get 2 years free PMS. That's still what's nice with Chery. The after sales support of this was amazing. I remembered immediately when I took this back at Chery Pasig, they worked on this immediately so people can get the test drive of this. So yeah, that's also one of the reasons I want to, if I want to buy a Chery, it's because of their after sales support. It's probably among one of the best out there in the car industry. And here, traffic, just eco mode and automatic mode. I don't know why there are some people who find this transmission a little bit jerky. I mean, when I drove like its competitor, the MGHS, I did not feel the jerkiness whatsoever. Just step it a bit, you definitely feel the surge. Of course, this is still a powerful engine, the 1.6 turbo. I mean, look, slow speeds and then just smash it. Yeah, it gets up to speed pretty quickly, and it's very progressive, the power, and it's very smooth as well, the transmission. This is actually a wet type dual clutch transmission. That's what's the advantage again of this type of transmissions. The dry ones, like for example the MGHs, tend to be a little bit too jerky. And again, like before, we have a panoramic sunroof. I'll leave that on just to get better lighting, not the whole thing. And here, bumpy part of C5. So still up pretty well too. And the NVH of this Tigo 8 Pro, so far among the best I've tried out among all of the Cherys. It's not as good as, I gotta say, just being honest, some of the Geelys, but it's close enough. And I hear the auto hold and then suddenly launch forward. It's pretty smooth. I know others tend to do that, but that again, that's all down to the transmission too. There, I just make it act like a manual transmission, just slowly progress the throttle so to avoid the jerkiness of the transmission. I mean, despite my heavy footedness, I didn't feel that much of a jerk too, since this is a wet type dual clutch transmission. Yet again, comparing to some of the dry types like the MGHS again, that I found you can make it jerk ever so slightly. This one does not do that, at least. And what else did I miss here from my first review? Still have the virtual instrument cluster, and I didn't show it that much, the ambient lighting here in the cabin. I find that really nice compared with the previous Tigo 8 Luxury. So everything here improved from before, and I like the touchscreen air conditioning controls. I mean, it's not too bad. Everything is nicely spaced out, but then again, it's gloss black here. Like in my first review, everything's gloss black. You notice then the scratches here and there. But anyway, the controls of it are user-friendly to say the least. So here, a little bit faster pace driving, around 50 kilometers per hour, and bumpy part of C5. I mean, there's tire noise and little bit of suspension, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's better than most Chinese crossovers that I tried out. And the eco mode, 4th gear, and then just plan to overtake. That's the blind spot warning doing its thing. I mean, so smooth, even though in eco mode. And the punch is is nuts. I love this thing. Even though you're in eco mode, this has so much power. Remember, check out the engine specs, all in my part 1 review. So here, normal mode, manual mode. This is what I also like with dual clutch transmissions. They're pretty fast to respond. I know this one's not like a Porsche PDK, but in total, it's among one of the better Chinese crossovers with the best transmission response. Love that. Of course, sport, when you turn it to manual, it's a whole nother level. But in eco and normal mode, surprisingly, it's still responsive, the transmission. Oh, that's just automatic mode. Took a while to kick down, but eventually you'll get there. And then as well, eco mode would be the most delayed, but in the end, it's not too bad. I think even though you're in eco mode, then you just shift the paddle down, then it will still be responsive enough. And then steering feel, okay, eco will be the lightest, normal is the best balance of among all the driving modes, and then sport tends to weight up even more, surprisingly. Maneuverability driving around here in C5 only and down in the city, like in my part 1 review just behind there, it's very easy to drive, surprisingly, despite being a very big car. Probably as well one of the better driving compact crossovers out there. I mean, this transmission is next level. The engine combo and the transmission combo is really, really good. And what else to talk about here? And not much updates here. They're more on the Tigo 7 Pro. But everything here in this Tigo 8 Pro, even when it was first released, everything is complete here. Like what I said in my part 1 review, you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, the paddle shifters. Oh, okay, comparing with some of the crossovers, Chinese crossovers, this one has a rubber pad behind it, and it's metal, I guess, compared to some of the cheap plastic ones out there. Yeah, the quality in here as well, being a Chery, surprisingly, it is top notch here. And let's not forget, this still rides on the Comfort T1X chassis that's like in the Tigo 7 Pro. This is a co-developed chassis with Jaguar Land Rover. You can feel the stiffness in the chassis, and like in my part 1 review again, the door studs of this is really good, along with the Tigo 7 Pro. I was just waiting in there earlier. And the fuel economy, yeah, from before, I even forgot, but I know it was thirsty in my review. I think I did 20 liters per 100 kilometers. Now I'm doing 17.5 liters per 100 kilometers. But the best one I got, surprisingly, 9.9 liters per 100 kilometers if you're light-footed only. Of course, your fuel economy will tend to decrease since this is a very powerful crossover. But then again, in return, it is one of the best driving ones in its class. So right here, back in landers, this is actually where the check engine light started. I couldn't reach out its full potential in the handling department since, of course, I was already in limp mode. Let me take over sport. Of course, there'll be body lean. It's a compact crossover, but the body lean is not that much, surprisingly. And here, a tight part of the landers. My favorite part here in the back. Let's try that. I like even soaks bumps and humps pretty well, even though you're going at faster speeds. And yet again, the NVH is really good because you don't hear the suspension thud at all. I'll try it now. There. That's so good. That's what I like with this Tigo 8 Pro. It's build quality improved from the previous Tigo 8, and I gotta say, among the best of the Chery lineup out there at the moment. I can't wait to try the Tigo 8 PHEV version of this. Hi Miss Aina, can I drive the Tigo 8 PHEV? I can't wait to drive that, to be honest. Comparing with this, I heard that PHEV is a little bit more crazier than this, even though that's a CVT, and of course being a hybrid. But this one's not bad. Oh shit. You get pushed back in your seat quite a lot. That's what I love with this Tigo 8 Pro. Wow, and the brakes are really good too. And this is the weird thing too. Amongst the competitors, this also has the best brake feel. I know, correct me if I'm wrong, compared with the S-Car, but I haven't driven that anymore. But at the moment, these brakes are really good. It's a little bit of a high bite, but it's still a progressive brake feel. That's so good. So that's my part 2 review of this Tigo 8 Pro 1.6 liter variant. I'll see you back in the showroom. So back here in the showroom, so I'd like to thank them. I have 200 pesos worth of Starbucks gift certificate. If it will let me, there you go. Right there. So, what do we do with this? 2 bacon flatbread. I'm good with that. So, this concludes my part 2 review of this Tigo 8 Pro. I'd like to thank Ma'am Val, Miss Ruby, Miss Mara, and Sir Dhejay for making this review possible. And thank you again for giving me the Starbucks gift certificate. So, hope you guys like and subscribe. And I will see you with more future car reviews. Bye-bye.